So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another book review session by the Bibliophile family. Today, we have Aditi with us reviewing the book The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. So, over to you, Aditi.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. And thank you so much, Palak ma'am, and the entire Bibliophile family for this opportunity. So, I'm very excited to make to review this book because it has helped me in so many ways that I can't even imagine. So, let me start with my introduction first. Just a second. Okay. So, I'm Aditi, and I'm a software developer in Bangalore. And today I'm going to review the book Power of Habit. Okay, so before starting the review, I would like to ask the audience here that a quick question. Who all here woke up today and decided to brush their teeth? No one, right? We just did it. But why? So it's simple because our brain is very lazy and it is a brilliant automatic machine that just loves to be on autopilot. So when I say that it loves to be on autopilot, I actually mean that our brain is addicted to routines. So because we don't have this habit that, okay, it's on Monday, I'll brush, on the rest of the 5 days, I'll see. No, we do it every day. So it's a routine. So that's what the power of habit will teach us in the next couple of slides of why we do what we do. And if we don't like what we do sometimes, then how to change it. So it's written by Charles Duhigg, and for me, it has made me understand that how can I reprogram my brain's default settings without crashing its hard drive. Because because if we want to actually understand how to change our brain, then we have to understand its default settings, and slowly by slowly we can change some parameters and make it actually be where we want it to be. So we have to first stop being a zombie. So by what do I mean by this? So as I told you, our brain is a machine. So let's try to understand how to hack our machines, right? Now, I am very sure that by the end of this review, we all will understand that choosing salad over fries, or moving over sitting, or reading over doom scrolling, it's not a psychological miracle. It's just some neural hacks that we have to apply, and it's not a heavy willpower test. They are just some strategies that we can make our brain feel that, okay, like eating salad is much more easier than fries. So how can we do that? So if we talk about the first category, how can we choose salad? So both are food items, right? We crave something. So we have to crave the crunch of salad as much as the spice and masalas of fries. I know it's easier said than done, but it is biologically possible, so we have to. These are just some neural tweaks that you have to give to your brain. Then how to embrace movement rather than just like sitting comfortably on our chairs. uh, let's buy some attractive gym clothes and buy some like very black and white pajamas, so that our gym clothes are so much attractive that we just want to go out and work out. And for reading, I usually do this. So at my home, I just try to keep books everywhere, so there are just like lots and lots of pages than screens. So these are some environmental hacks, so they are like some basics. Going forward in the slides, we'll understand how conceptually it works. So as you can see here, this is a brain, and on one side we can see so much of chaos happening. Everything looks like a zombie, that everything is just on autopilot. But on the other way, if we can see, if we can tweak our machine to adapt to good habits, then just see the energy there, like all the good habits, like it is so lively to even look at. So let's try to understand how to stop being a zombie by actually utilizing the power of our habits. So before understanding how we can do that, isn't it important to actually understand this machine? And to understand our brain as a machine, the best manual I can think of is this book. Okay, so this is an experiment that tells us how our brain works. If you can see here on the right side, this is a setup where there is a maze and there is a rat. Of course, they use rat everywhere. So this is a scientist experiments at MIT, where what they have done is, so you have to understand before that, every habit, everything we do is a three-step process: trigger, routine, and reward. Trigger is also referred to as cue in this book. So here, so near a rat, they have made a maze. And whenever there is a click sound, the entrance to the maze got opened. And then there is a chocolate inside the maze. So the rat sniffs that chocolate, and of course, it's always hungry, so it wants to grab it. For the first few rounds, as you can see here, this is the activity graph, brain activity graph. So if you can see, because some very few rounds, rat does not know anything about the maze, chocolate, sound. So if you can see, when the click sound came, see the brain activity, it's very high in the first few rounds, right? Then it wants to go to the chocolate. So it is sniffing, going around, um, and sometimes coming backward. So much of things happening to understand how to get that reward, how to get that pleasure of chocolate. So you can see there is so high intensity brain activity going on. Then contrast to that, after several rounds, we can see that click happened. So brain activity is high. Then whole spike is down, everything shuts down. You can see low brain activity after like this was after like 1000 and 2000 rounds. After 1000 rounds, what has mouse done? So it has understood the path to the chocolate. This is known as basal ganglia. So the basal ganglia, we can understand it in such a way that it's a software in our brain that stores all the algorithm of the habits. Example, brushing the teeth. So basal ganglia knows that if I'm up, I have to brush the teeth. I don't think that. My brain activity is very low. I am not involved in decision making or fatiguing my mind. I know I have to brush. So that's what is happening with the rat. So because of this basal ganglia kicking in the middle of the routine, the brain completely shuts down. And I think many of you can relate to this mind numbness. I usually feel it when I start sometimes scrolling, then I'm like totally numb, because our brain is so accustomed to that routine that it's like, okay, I'm fine with the low brain activity as soon as one more spikes come, this reward thing. So we have to understand that there is this basal ganglia which stores all the routine, which is not governed by the routine, which is not governed by by the rat discovering the path to the chocolate through the maze. It is governed by what is the trigger and what is the reward. So now that we know that the spike is that when the brain explodes at the start and the end, the middle is pure automation thing, and now we understand how we are only dependent upon the trigger and the reward. So let's understand how we can control this routine part. So this whole routine can be understood as a loop. It is a loop of doom and success, which is determined by what is the routine we are using. So if we can see, there is this person who is very hungry, if you can see in the image, and it is craving for something sweet or like something. It is like craving for something to eat. He is hungry. So he found some box of cookies over there. He's like, I got the cookies, let me eat it. Reward, he feels happy, but he will not feel satisfied. He will feel more craving, because cookies or highly processed food, sugar, they are meant for more craving, not for not for satisfaction. So do we want to crave for more when we have already got the pleasure? No, right? So what can we do? So let's shift to the right part of the image. That person is hungry again. Then Instead of going to the cookie, he says, what can I do instead? So he goes to his good food list. There is this slow carbs food list, and he feels something good to eat. Then, same reward. He got something to eat. But did he feel that craving again after some times? No, he will feel healthy, and he will feel that he'll feel a sense of accomplishment. That apart from apart from curbing my hunger, I have done something more good. So cue remains the same, reward remains the same. What did we hijack? We hijacked the routine. So this is important to understand that it's not easy to change our bad habits. It is just they will remain there, but we have to just tweak the middle part. So we have to understand it is an engine, and we have to control the gears. If we don't control it, then the gears will control us, which is what happened with the rat. It just went without any brain activity to get the chocolate. So there's this pro tip for you, that you can never kill a habit, because once you have ever done a bad habit, then there are a neuron chaining done for you. You can't erase the neurons, right? You can hijack the routine to overwrite a new good routine over it. Now, how to do that? So we can do that by utilizing the power of craving, which basically fuels this loop. So let's see what's happening here. So there is this person, and he is in this I had a very awful day vibe. So this is like ever repeating thing for us. We are every now and then we're like, we had a very awful day. So to fight the stress, what he's doing is he's drowning all his stress in a glass of wine or whatever favorite drink of this person is. And what he gets is a sense of relief, calmness, all my problems went away. This is a one side of the story. Now, what happens if the same person is uh, feeling the same? I had a very bad day. But what is he doing now? He's like, let me try something else to feel relieved. He calls a friend. So he replaces the routine of drinking to calling a friend. And that routine also gave the same reward to make that person happy and relieved. But what is the difference? The only difference is in the left side, when the person uh, chooses the routine of drinking, he will of course have a very bad hangover the next day, or he will feel lousy, or that craving of I want more relief will come again. But if you choose a good routine, reward remains the same, and you will tend to be more good in all your aspects of life. So there is also this very beautiful psychology given in this book, that if we are even consistent at any one keystone habit. So for me, I think my keystone habit is if I exercise even for like 15 minutes a day, I feel good in every other part of life. It can be reading, office work, sleep, good sleep. So even if one good thing has been done, it reflects in all other aspects of life. So it is all about changing the routine. Now, is this craving enough, or do we need some other component? Let's try to find out. Of course, I know many of you know that willpower is required, right? But it comes with its own terms and conditions. This is a limited time offer. If you can see in this image, this is what willpower do. Push your own body, like push it very hard, and having this whole belief system going in. But we have to understand, willpower is not it's not a psychological trait, or it's not something that a person is born with. It is basically a muscle. It's just like everyone has muscles in their hand, right? So it's just like a muscle in brain. You have to practice it. You have to, but even if we don't go to gym every day, right? Because we know that our muscles will turn off. In the same way, we can't practice willpower 24/7 a day. It is a muscle. It will exhaust. That's why I'm saying it's a limited time offer. Or a better analogy would be, consider willpower as a battery. So you charge your willpower at 100% at 8 a.m. Then it went to like afternoon, everyone's willpower after having lunch is like 40%. Then evening it's 5%. Sometimes for me it's like I'm done. So that's why like sometimes we can choose good food, like salad on lunch, and but we can't resist pizza on dinner, right? Because it's willpower kicking in that I am done, I need only pleasures now. So how can we use willpower in the most efficient way to get the most out of it? It is, it will be explained by two very powerful experiments which are done by some very renowned scientists. So first experiment is that willpower is related to self respect, or it is self respect driven. Let's see what is that experiment about. So let's listen closely to this experiment. So there are two teams, team 1 and team 2. Both are given some very freshly baked cookies, very hot and very delicious. They are looking very delicious. Now, if you can see, the team 2 was treated very rudely. They were said, uh, like, do that, like they're being treated very rudely. And uh, so basically, there is one cookie thing, and there are radishes, mooli. So they were the both the teams were asked that you can you cannot eat cookies, you have to eat only radish, and you have to make sure that you don't even like touch the cookies for at least 30-40 minutes. And they have ensured that all the teams members all are very hungry. So the team 2 was being told, "Kid, eat this radish, don't eat this cookie," and they were hurted very badly in this experiment. So all the team 2 members, they were very annoyed that what is all this happening? Why are we doing this? What will we get out of this? Why are they just wasting our time? All of this were happening in team 2. Now what did they do in team 1? Team 1 was respected. The treatment was very respectful there. They were told what the mission of this experiment was. They were very nicely asked to do this. They were thanked multiple times that thank you for doing this experiment, thank you for not eating cookies, and thank you for eating radishes. They're very happy. They don't use their willpower at all. Then what happened after this 40 minutes ended? They were both given a hard puzzle to solve, which will their IQ level. Even though the puzzle is same, the team members are same, the team 2, which was very badly treated, did pathetically in the test. They didn't even, some of them didn't even try the puzzle. They're like, I'm going home. But the team 1, which was treated very respectfully, they solved the puzzle very quickly and very nicely. So what did we draw from this experiment is, when we are doing any activity with our own self control, with our peace of mind, or with a sense of belonging, then it's very easy to do any task. So how can we apply it to our everyday tasks and activities? What we can do is, we can, before starting any task, make sure that the tasks belong to us, or we are very positive towards that task, or the main thing, we have our own self respect intact while doing the task. So this is all about how self respect, or having a positive outlook over the reward or over the completion of the tasks, can help us utilize the willpower in the best way possible, and not like drag our body like this person is doing here. Now, this is my favorite experiment. I think some of you may have heard, anyone who is interested in psychology must have known this marshmallow experiment. This also tells us about the most important, for me, I think this is the very important factor a person can keep in mind to have this sense of greater willpower. What is this experiment about? So in this experiment, we are seeing a 5-year-old kid sitting in a research lab, and or like sitting in his home, anything, and he has been given a plate in which a very hot, fluffy, tasty marshmallow is kept, and marshmallow is this kid's favorite. And then there is this researcher who is conducting this experiment. So researcher came and told this kid that if you don't eat this marshmallow, so he told that I'm keeping this marshmallow here, and I will come back in 15 minutes and I will give you one more marshmallow if you won't eat this marshmallow here. So this looked like a good deal to the kid. So it's like, okay, what is this? It's not a big deal. 15 minutes, then I will wait for one more marshmallow. So the researcher left, and you can easily see the humorous and torturous reality that kid actually faced. First he's like, okay, just a marshmallow. Then he's like, is this reality so hard? Then he'll be like, uh, this, why is this so hard? You can see all this expression. This is exactly what our brain goes through when you put it in some tough task. The brain, if my brain has a face, it will look like this, going through any tough activity. But at the end, of course, he ate the marshmallow without waiting for the researcher. What does this tells? That he didn't wait for what was actually meant to happen. And what has been actually drawn from this experiment was, when this was experimented on other kids. So some kids handled this very beautifully. What they did was, they used automatic distraction. Some didn't look at the marshmallow, some sang a song, some actually imagined this marshmallow as a cloud, and they were like, who can eat a cloud? Key here is, those were kids, and the kids who can resist the temptation of not eating the marshmallow isn't something they are born with, or they have inherited this resisting power. All they did was using some distraction, good distraction, or using some psychological traits that made them forget about marshmallows. That is what we can apply in our own real lives. When things get too tough, or when pleasures seem too easy, for example, I am in this office work that is too difficult, and I am having a phone that can give me a pleasure in like nanoseconds by scrolling something. That's where delayed gratification comes in. And we have to understand that by by making my mind distracted from the pleasures, and understanding this thing, that delayed gratification is the most important thing, I can actually resist all the distraction and can focus on my core office work. So these are the two things to revise. First is, we have to make sure that all the tasks are being done in a self respected way, and we have to understand that delayed gratification is very necessary, which means that quick pleasures, और अगर जल्दी से हमें कुछ pleasure मिल गया, which definitely will have its own dangerous consequences behind it. Okay, now this is very interesting thing that I have to tell you. There is this grocery store hack. Now, it's not the case that only I know that craving, willpower, and all these components drive my habits. Who actually benefits from all this is the big players of the market: Google, Facebook, Instagram, um, all the advertising companies, marketing campaigns, all of these big players who just need our attention and who just need our money, play on these habit traits, play on these habit loops. How do they do that? So this is very interesting scenario of, let's say, DMart. We all have been to DMart. Now, when we actually go to a DMart, we have a list, right? But do we stick to that? No. what exactly drives our decisions. So this is what DMart do or any grocery store do. It hacks our autopilot brain because the algorithm that they use is always watching us. To explain, first thing is healthy first. So tell me, when you enter into any grocery store, what do you see first? Vegetables, fruits, like not very near, it is always chocolates and all. But if you go, the vegetable, fruits, dairy section is somewhat like in front. Why? Because when you go, you look at all the healthy things, or you sometimes put something in your cart, then you will feel very wise that I have put carrot into my list, which means that my healthy thing is done right. So now I can take as much junk as I want. So this is how they trick you to purchase junk or to go beyond your grocery list. Another thing is the CCTVs that they have. It isn't just for safety. It is to see how the people behave in DMart. What are their habits? What are the neurological patterns they follow? And how can they use that patterns to extract more and more money from us? So what they have seen is they have watched million of hours of videotapes just to see how people walk in the grocery store. So generally, all of us mostly will have a tendency to move to right whenever we go to a grocery store. So all the expensive and high margin products are, so there's no guess, they're always on the right. So this is also how the companies manipulate this power of habit to actually use us. And then there's this very important randomizer factor. So in this randomizer, what we do is we do what the grocery people do is, if you go to, let's say, soap section, they will keep Vivel, they will keep Santur. They'll not keep it in alphabetical order because our brain seeks uncertainty. So what they will do is they will mismatch and they will not keep it in an alphabetical order or any order in that matter, so that we go and we are looking at more products. So these are some of the traits that habit or this habit loop, which when is seen by the big players of the market, can use us. If we are aware of our habits, if we are aware of whatever we are doing is actually what we want to do or not, by all these things we can actually bypass all these manipulators in the grocery store or anywhere that they have properly deployed. So whenever you are going to any grocery store, whenever you are going to any site, and mostly whenever you are going to any social media site, make sure that you are not being a product to these big players who just want our attention and who just want to um, make use of this habit loop to just engage and make us a product. So what can we do to actually not fall into this trap? We have to do some surgery on our habit loop. So this is a 4-step habit surgery by which we can leave our old habits and slowly go to the new habits. How can we do that? First step is to identify. So there is this very famous quote that I like. uh, you cannot escape the matrix if you don't know you are in one, which means if you don't even know that you are stuck somewhere, how can you escape that? So first step is realization. You have to realize that I have a bad habit. You have to identify the bad habit, the bad stuff, or exactly, if I mean by a bad habit, I mean the bad routine. Because a reward can be like feeling happy, feeling satisfied, feeling relieved. That is not bad, right? Feeling happy or feeling a pleasure is not a bad thing. It's a reward. And whatever trigger you are getting to feel that you are feeling tired, you're feeling fatigued, you're feeling anxious, that is also not a bad thing. That we are human, we will feel tired. So we don't have to change the trigger, we don't have to change the reward. We have to identify the bad stuff, which means we have to identify the bad routine and we have to tweak that. So first step is identify what is your bad routine. Second, experiment. So I will explain this with an example that is given by the author in the book. So the author always had an habit of eating cookies at 3 p.m. He knows that he don't want to eat cookie because of course he wants to lose weight. So he know that he's eating cookie every afternoon and he wants to stop that. So the bad routine is eating cookie. Second step he did was experimenting. He tried different rewards. Like, what do you really want? So what he did was, whenever he felt that okay, it is 3 p.m., I am like, I want to do something, he didn't try to grab a cookie. Instead he tried different rewards, like different patterns. He instead talked to a teammate, he took a walk, he did something else so that he can achieve the same reward. Then the third thing is isolating the trigger or isolating the cue. And this is very hard to do because let's say the trigger is that he is feeling lazy at afternoon after having lunch. But how, what does exactly triggered that? So there are five things. Location can trigger something. That location can be like, if you are at home, you have some bad habit. If you are at office, then you have some specific set of bad habits. So understand the location first. Then time, at what time does that bad habits triggers? Then what what did you do before that triggered that bad feeling or triggered anything, then which is known as preceded action. So there's these 3 to 4 things by which you can exactly predict what exactly triggers this eating cookie behavior. So for him, for the author, it was feeling lazy at 3 p.m. because of like uh, lunch or anything. The reward he wants is to feel some kind of energy, to feel his spirits high. So for that, he used to have cookie because he liked cookies, but of course, it was not good for his health. So now he planned it. What he did, he set an alarm in his phone at 3 p.m. that will ring and it will show that go and talk to a friend, gossip, or just have a good conversation, talk about tech or anything, but don't go to cookie section. So sometimes he couldn't. And of course, not every day we can abide by the plan that we have made. We will sometimes do as the plan suggests. And sometimes we will be so busy in work that we will just switch the alarm and we'll go back to our work. But on the day we will actually go by the plan and we actually felt lazy. But talking to a friend, taking a walk actually gave much more greater reward than eating a cookie. Those days will make this new neuron chaining so strong that you will even forget about the cookie. You won't even look at it. This is how we can change our habits. Like, this is a very easy example and very easy bad habit, but the same applies to nearly everything. Drinking habit, smoking habit, everything can go by this chain only because it is made by this loop. So coming to the end of the session, I want to share one of my bad habits that I have and how I use this to improve. And not, I have not improved it, I'm trying to improve it. So I have the same issue as author. If I'm having my afternoon lunch in office, I'll be feeling thoda lousy. I'll feel sleepy. So this is how I have made my plan, and you use the same and you can transform whatever thing you want to improve on. So what is my trigger? My trigger is I'm at office and it is 2 o'clock and I am sleepy because I had very good lunch. And basically I usually have a meeting at 2:30. So I have to get ready for that meeting, but this brain, after having such a good lunch, don't want me to go into that meeting. So this is my trigger. I know that whatever I do, I can't change my trigger and reward. I can't change feeling not sleepy after lunch. Like, I can, by doing some things, but it's literally hard because also it is a signs that in afternoon our energy levels go down a bit. So if you want to change your trigger and reward, right, so it's a losing battle, you can't. So we have to understand the trigger is there, we are feeling tired, we are feeling bad, we can't fight that. What we can do to improve that is, so my old routine was sometimes like I'll mindlessly scroll something, like just to keep my mind busy, I'll escape digitally, or I'll just like lay down, or I will go to some bad routine to overcome this trigger. What can be the new plan? Of course, like it can be like immediately stand, go to a standing desk, walk, uh, call family, do something that can have this sense of accomplishment, that will give me a sense of accomplishment, that I know I have this, I know I'm feeling tired, but I did this to get over it. And one more thing the author has shared, that after he has published his book, one of the reader, whose name is David Bridie, you can search about him, he's a very inspiring figure. So after he read this book, he went through a very terrible accident in which his one leg and one arm got were not there due to one accident. So he used to feel very bad. He used to feel very miserable, that why did this happen to me, because he went to like this swimming session, and some shark ate his like head and leg, so hand and leg, sorry. So he was very miserable, that no nothing, no psychologist, no therapist was tending to heal his issue. So then he read this book, and then he started applying some of the solutions given. So what he did was, so actually he was saved by two rescue persons near the swimming area. So he started feeling good about what he currently has. How? He did gratitude hack. So gratitude, saying, paying gratitude helps a lot in changing habits. So he thanked his rescuers, he thanked his mother, he thanked all the people around who never ever paid attention to their own miseries, but were always there for him. So paying gratitude to all the person around us, even strangers, or even the person who we feel that are not very important in our lives. If we pay gratitude, we feel grounded, and we feel that we can actually change ourselves little by little. So this literally inspired me a lot, this story, that even at being your worst, you can feel uplifted by seeing and taking good inspirations around you. So that's about it. And I want all of us to rewrite our loops today, because there's no tomorrow. So thank you for your attention. And I hope we all will rewrite our loop successfully. Any questions or any takeaways you have, or you want to share your own experiences? So I would be very grateful if you can share your experiences. Thank you.
Beautiful. Would you like to stop the screen share? We can take a selfie and then we'll discuss and ask you questions. Wonderful. Beautiful presentation, Aditi. We loved listening to you. So yes, welcome the new members. I know they are friends of our Aditi. So welcome to the Bibliophile Families session. And I would request, if possible, please turn on your cameras. At the end of the session, we take a selfie, just for a reminder that how beautiful the session was. So yes, uh, hello, sir.
Hi, Aditi.
Hi, thank you for joining all.
Thank you.
So good to see everyone supporting Aditi. Wonderful. All right. So yes, ready everyone? Smile, please. गुड इवनिंग संजय जी. इरफान सर गुड इवनिंग. बहुत समय बाद आपको देख के बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. गुड इवनिंग. ओके, स्माइल. 1 2 स्माइल. Gorgeous. Thank you so much. Yes. So the stage is open for discussions and anything you would like to comment. I will first invite friends of Aditi because they are our guests. Welcome all, a warm welcome from all of us. It's amazing seeing you, all of you here. So, anything you would like to share, you would like to ask Aditi, please go ahead.
Hi, Aditi. Well summarized.
Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
How long did you take to read a book
Oh,
of this length? Yeah.
okay. I completed it in the morning. It is a very big book, but actually, what I covered is exactly 10% of the iceberg. I I have I have eliminated so many case studies, and the case studies were amazing. I can't curb everything in this 1 hour session. It is a gem. The case studies of like big companies like Starbucks and Pepsodent, like those, like how they become so big, and generally their founders come from very humble beginnings. How they make their empire so big that they are a household name. How these organizations, how these companies are actually making a place in everyone's head is from these habits. And one very important thing, there is this last chapter known as social habits. If you can remember about Rosa Parks, who who actually started this civil rights movement by not giving she was a black woman. She didn't give her seat to a white person because back then it was a custom that if a white person is coming, so a black person will get up to give them the seat. She didn't uh, get up, and that was a thing that sparked everything. Then Martin Luther King came. So how this thing happened, this is uh, all this is because of habit of a habit of being in a culture, in a community. So everything will come down to habit. So I would highly recommend everyone to read this book. There are a lot of good case studies, and I can't praise this book enough. So if I can just summarize, it's a very good book. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Hi Aditi, thank you so much for reading out that, giving us the summary of the book. I really liked it, and you presented it really well. Thank you so much for that. My question is that our mind tricks us a lot of times, right? So, suppose just as an example you give, like after having your lunch, you feel lousy and you trick your brain by changing, by walking around, speaking with your family. But after a while, what happens is our mind understands the trick, and it doesn't fall for that trick, and then we feel the same pattern causing the issue to us again. So, what should we do in those cases? Do we need to really keep finding new ways to trick our brain, or need to learn, change our habit patterns? What are the ways that we can do in that case? If you can
Uh,
help me with that.
Amazing question. And I think this is what we struggle the most with. To answer it in um, a better way, I would say that it is inevitable. We can't. If we are humans, we will fail in this. We will definitely, uh, our brain will definitely ignore that this person will make me go on a family call, and I will not feel that much pleasure. I will scroll instead. This will happen. But the best answer that I can give you is try uh, try giving your brain that freedom. Scroll that afternoon. What will happen is you will feel a guilt, you will feel regret, and that sense is very important. When I actually betray myself, when I actually give in to my bad habits, I feel very bad, but I feel very strong after actually analyzing that. Okay, I have committed that sin again. I have again given to my habit. I have again didn't do what I wanted to do. What did that make me feel? It made me feel bad. It made me feel resentful. Do I want to feel that again? Never. So what can I do? Let's again try. And I actually embrace when I fail, because it gives me new data points. If I don't fail, I don't have much data points to draw to have a beautiful graph. I don't want this graph. I want like this graph to actually understand myself better. So if you're failing, of course थोड़ा सा रोना तो बनता है कि मुझसे तो नहीं होता है, मुझसे तो मैं improve नहीं कर सकती हूँ. But once that feeling is done, once you are done feeling bad, take action and be very wise while understanding what next I can do. And I can bet you 100% sure this analysis will be 100% better than your previous analysis. And sometimes for me, when everything is going good, then of course some low day happen. Then when I again come back, that comeback is of course thoda relatively high than my previous high. So this continuation will make you can never, I'm not giving you false hope, but it's very hard to always stay and in that zone. But of course we can minimize it. So for me, that afternoon thing is literally minimizing. So I think it helps. This answer helps.
Thank you so much.
Hi
It was
everyone.
helpful.
Amazing question. Hi.
Hi, I'm Gauri. Happy to be here. Really nice to see your presentation. When I was younger, I used to see this show called Brain Games. It just felt an extension of that with all the experiments which you shared. Really amazing presentation. Thanks for that. I wanted to know that. So, what came out of the presentation mostly is following a habit for a reward. But do we reach a stage where there is no longer need of any kind of reward and the routine or the habit itself feels a reward in itself? Because at the crux of it, it is for a beautiful life or for having for achieving whatever you want. So does that come to a part where the broader picture kicks in, or is it always you have to chase some kind of reward?
Amazing question. I never thought it that way. I always see my habit loop as a 3-component cue routine reward. But it's amazing to understand, and it's amazing to see कि क्या ये 2-component loop हो तो ये कितना अच्छा होगा. Of course, अगर जितने कम component, जितने कम gears, उतना हम easily उसको control कर पाएंगे. And I feel that yes, some habits are just two 2-component thing. But if you mention, do you think we can eliminate reward? So it's not कि reward हमेशा last में भी मिलता है, right? When we are exercising, हर एक rep एक reward है. आप देखोगे तो पूरा एक आपका जो, अगर आप 1 घंटे का वर्कआउट कर रहे हो, वो पूरा एक रूटीन है. या तो आपने एक रेप किया, एक पुशअप मारा, वो भी एक रिवॉर्ड है. आई कांट एक्चुअली से कि हम रिवॉर्ड को कभी एलिमिनेट कर सकते हैं. एंड एट द सेम वे वी कैन से दैट वी कैन मिक्स रूटीन एंड रिवॉर्ड. अगर हम उन दोनों को थोड़ा ओवरलैपिंग फैशन में देखें तो इट विल बी मच इजियर टू curb our trigger. If our trigger is feeling low on energy, then if we are doing workout to overcome that, I think कि वो जो रूटीन है वर्कआउट करने का, उसके हर एक सेकंड में अगर हम वो रिवॉर्ड लेते रहे, then it is even more powerful than having a 3-component loop. So I think it would be much more better if we think it this way. But it is little harder to achieve, but I think little by little we can go there.
Right,
So,
like it will get merged with time, like the later two components. Cool. Thanks.
thank you.
Wonderful. So, I would like to extend Aditi's reply to Gauri that rewards are necessary when you are building a habit. You'll not give a reward when you're brushing your teeth, right? Also, when the
I missed the what? I missed the last. When we will not need rewards when?
you're brushing your teeth.
Okay.
So, when
Oh,
the habit is so much into yourself, into you, that it forms a part of your daily life, you won't require a reward. The reward is to reward you, to bribe you, to
mm,
go into good habits.
mm.
And when that ends, mostly those high level, high achieving habits. I hope I'm audible. I think there is a
Yes,
lot of noise.
you're
So,
not.
high achieving habits actually require rewards because they tend to pull you back. Exercise causes pain. आप कितना भी exercise के लिए acclimatize हो जाए, it will cause you pain. That's why something like that. Reading sometimes is fatigue, बट रीडिंग इवेंचुअली इट इज रिलैक्सिंग, वो बहुत समय के बाद आता है। जैसे जैंडम और कमल सर है तो उनके लिए रिवॉर्ड है योग करना, बट नॉट फॉर एवरी वन। सो येस, इट यूजुअली फेड्स अवे, पर उसमें बहुत साधना लगती है। तो दैट्स वाई टू कट डाउन द पेन पार्ट वी रिवॉर्ड आवरसेल्व्स। सो या,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that made much more sense. Understood.
थैंक
Yeah.
यू। ऑल राइट, सो anyone from TBF would like to share something? Rumit sir, आपको तो बोलना बनता है, I'm waiting.
He is the one due to which I got this opportunity. So at the very last, I want to thank Rumit sir for introducing me to everything that you people do. And everyone who joined it for the first time, I highly recommend you to watch more of the TBF YouTube channels reviews or anything that TBF do. It's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, so amazing session by Aditi. We can see your hard work through your PPT slides. And, some of the contents of the book is similar to Atomic Habits, like cue, reward, and all. So, of course, it is always useful and very interesting to implement our daily routine. And I would like to add to your reply to Mr. Guru Prasad. So that when you are used to same routine post lunch, so if you are traveling in the left corridor, try right corridor next time. When your brain is used to it, you are calling your family, so you call next time extended family or some other friends.
Mm.
So you keep rotating and shuffling the things what you are doing. So that's all. And of course, once again,
All right.
Thank you so much.
amazing, yeah, amazing session by Aditi. Thank you. Actually, I'm in the restaurant, so I just come to the corner. Lot of noise is there because I have finished my dinner before 7:30. So
Again, a
आप
good
कहीं
habit.
भी हो? Yes, Aditi, please go ahead.
I was saying that again, a good habit to note from sir to have dinner before 7:30.
He is a live example of the
Yes,
all the principles given
yes.
in the habit books.
Like if
Yeah.
you want to see a live example of power of habits, you see Rumit sir's life. It will be done. Yeah.
Yes. So yes, good evening, Santi ji. Would you like to share?
I joined late actually, and when I joined, I just listened to some of the questions and the way Aditi was replying. Actually, ये होता है. This is the example, reading the book and reading the book, by absorbing all the things क्या लिखा हुआ है उसमें. The way she was replying, मैंने ये नहीं देखा कि उन्होंने सेशन में क्या बताया, but the way she was replying, it was the reply like an expert actually. कोई सेशन चल रहा है जहाँ की हम पैनल में बैठे हुए हैं और पब्लिक क्वेश्चन पूछ रही है, तो दी वे शी रिप्लाइड, सो इट मीन्स दैट बुक को पढ़ा ही नहीं, उन्होंने ग्रैब भी किया है अंदर की चीज़ों को. एंड द सब्जेक्ट ऑफ द बुक, द पावर ऑफ हैबिट एंड एटॉमिक हैबिट, दीज ऑल आर द फर्स्ट बुक विच आई ऑल्सो व्हेन जब बुक रीडिंग स्टार्ट किए थे, तो एटॉमिक हैबिट सीम्स टू बी दी फर्स्ट बुक होता है सेल्फ हेल्प के लिए जब हम स्टार्ट करते हैं. सो yes, habit forming itself is a habit होता है, and the biggest challenge is to erase the old habits, और नए habit को हमको उसमें कैसे करके घुसना है, वो जल्दी नहीं जाता, बट धीरे 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 करके जाता है, तो हमें ब्रेन को रिवायर करना पड़ता है। तो मैं रिकॉर्डिंग्स देख लूँगा कि एक्चुअली क्या उन्होंने बताया है, बट यस, वंडरफुल वंडरफुल सेशन,
Thanks
या
a lot. Thank you so much.
थैंक यू आदित्य।
Thank you, Sanjay ji. And yes, very true. I would like to share. This is one of my favorite books on habits. और चार्ल्स डूहिग की बुक से ही आई गॉट द आइडिया ऑफ 9 PM सेशंस। अर्लियर जो हमारा TBF का रीडिंग सेशन था वो 9 बजे होता था, एंड द होल प्लान दैट आई डिवाइज फॉर TBF वॉज फ्रॉम दिस बुक, एंड आई रेड इट आई थिंक इन 2013 2014, बहुत समय पहले। उसके बाद एटॉमिक हैबिट्स आई, एंड आई थॉट कि यार इसने सब चुरा लिया इसका। इट इज सो सिमिलर। he obviously he gave good examples, जिस जो हम जेम्स क्लियर को हम बहुत वो करते हैं, बट एक्चुअली चार्ल्स डूहिग डिड द रिसर्च। जो क्यू वाला जो क्वेश्चन है कि रैट आता है, वो
Yes.
चार्ल्स डूहिग की रिसर्च है। एंड उसके बाद चार्ल्स डूहिग ने बहुत सारी बुक्स लिखी सिमिलर लाइंस में, हैबिट्स पे, इस पे, बट दे आर नॉट so good as compared to this one.
Yes,
And it's a
मतलब मैंने atomic, sorry to cut in between, but atomic habits and power of habit के बीच में अगर चूज करना है तो पहले power of habit ही पढ़ना चाहिए, because it's so much data packed. आप अगर कुछ स्टोरी स्टार्ट कर रहे हो, कुछ केस स्टडी स्टार्ट कर रहे हो, then it is so depth that you will actually live in the world. You will actually be the marketing person कि मैं कैसे habit को imbibe करूँ. So it's very important to learn the case studies, while not just कि ये हो जाएगा, ये तो सभी बताएंगे कि हैबिट अच्छा करना है, बट एग्जैक्टली कैसे मूवमेंट्स आए, कैसे कैसे चेंज हुआ, एक कंपनी कैसे चेंज हुई, ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस कैसे चेंज हुए, दिस इज व्हाट पावर ऑफ हैबिट इज अबाउट। सो या
so wonderful. Actually, anyone would like to master any book, right? I always, जो हम रीडाथॉन में स्वधर्मा में एक मास्टरी सेक्शन आता है बुक रिव्यूज का, तो आई रियली रिकमेंड कि आप इसकी मास्टरी करें, इवन दो यू स्किप द केस स्टडी पार्ट। वो दे आर जस्ट स्टोरीज एंड दे कैन इंस्पायर यू, बट उसका जो क्रक्स है, you can actually make a chart out of it and imbibe in your daily habits. And coming from that, I would really like to post a journal question for all of us. This is, I think, I hope all of us journal at night. तो हम ये याद कर सकते हैं कि what is one habit that you want to achieve but you're still lagging behind. आप कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि आप उस हैबिट को फॉलो करें, बट वो बार बार छूट रही है, एंड वाई। इट कुड बी एनीथिंग, इट कुड बी अ सिंपलेस्ट ऑफ थिंग कि रात में चिया सीड्स गला के सुबह पीना है, एंड इट कुड बी मोस्ट डिफिकल्ट कि सुबह उठ के योगा करना है 1 घंटा। इट कुड बी एनीथिंग, बट yes, this could be a journal question, that what is one habit that we are chasing but it is just losing its grip from our hands. So yeah, with that journal question, I think we'll wind up the session. Beautiful presentation, Aditi. बहुत ही बढ़िया, पहली बार आपने हमारे साथ प्रेजेंट किया है, और लग ही नहीं रहा है कि आप पहली बार हमारे साथ रिव्यू कर रहे हैं। It was wonderful having you and all the friends of you. बहुत
you.
बहुत अच्छा लगा हमें
I
कि
would
आप आए।
to take the names because it means a
Yes.
lot that they joined. So thank you Tushar, thank you Gauri, thank you Smarnika.